All right, let's get into something really cool. We're going to be diving into a story that was, for a long time, totally lost to the galactic archives. It's this newly unearthed legend, a story that kind of mashes up two universes you probably know very well. This is the chronicle of an impossible arrival. Wow, I mean, what a way to set the scene, right? A fire-wreathed tear in Coruscant's perpetual twilight. That is just so powerful, almost mythic. You can tell right away this isn't just some starship coming in for a landing. No, this is something else entirely. Something primal, something alien, something that literally tore a hole in the sky over the most important planet in the galaxy.
Okay, so our first section, a tear in the sky. We're gonna break down just what made this arrival so bizarre, because this was way more than just a ship entering the atmosphere. It was, well, an anomaly. Something that seemed to defy everything the galaxy thought it knew about physics and tech.
Okay, so think about this. Coruscant. This is probably the most heavily defended, most monitored planet in the entire galaxy, right? So how in the world does some unknown alien craft just slip right through? Well, the answer is kinda wild. It was so weird, so completely off the charts, that the defense systems literally didn't know what to make of it. They just flagged it as space junk, a random piece of debris.
And this is where it gets really interesting when you put it side by side with what we know. A standard starfighter? You need all this complex stealth tech to even think about getting past Coruscant's defenses. This pod? It was just invisible to them, ignored. Starships need these super powerful deflector shields to not burn up on re-entry. This thing? It's like atmospheric friction just didn't apply to it. And the speed? I mean, it was completely unheard of. We're not just talking about something more advanced here. We're talking about something that was playing by a completely different set of rules.
So you'd think, right, something moving that fast would hit with the force of a bomb. You'd expect a massive crater, a huge explosion, but no. Instead, it was just this deep thud. It didn't make a big show of it. It didn't announce itself with fire and chaos. It just buried itself deep, deep down in some forgotten industrial sector, way, way far from anyone important. Okay, so that's the arrival. Now we're shifting gears, because a huge event like this doesn't really matter if no one sees it, right? The story now zooms in from this massive cosmic event to something way more personal. We're gonna meet the one person who actually found this thing. And that person is Alara. Now, she's not some big shot Jedi or a powerful senator. No, she's a mechanic, a salvager, someone who gets by picking through junk in the lowest levels of Coruscant. Her hands are always dirty, her life is this quiet grind, and there's this feeling of something missing. And you know, that's what makes her the perfect person to stumble upon this secret. Because to the rest of the galaxy, she's completely invisible. So Alara, she feels that thud, sees this weird glow, she grabs her blaster, because you have to down there, and goes to investigate. She's probably thinking, okay, crash speeder, maybe a small freighter, something I can salvage. But that is not what she finds, not even close. So the question is just hanging there. If it's not a ship, then what on earth is it?
She finds this shell. It's metal, but it looks strange, almost organic. And it's not just sitting in a crater. It's literally fused into the durasteel of the city itself. Just think about the forces involved to make that happen. The fact that this thing is still in one piece is frankly a miracle. It's a dead giveaway that this thing is not from around here.
And just when she thinks it can't get any weirder, a hatch just hisses open, and inside, there's a baby. But you can tell immediately this is no ordinary kid. His cries are so strong. His skin seems to almost drink in the dim light of the Undercity. And his eyes, they're this bright, vibrant blue she's never seen before. And for Alara, who's lived this quiet, childless life, this moment just changes absolutely everything.
So right there, a secret is born. Alara makes a choice, a huge one, that's going to change her life and maybe even the whole galaxy. So let's get into what happens next, the story of the boy she names Call, and how he grew up hidden away in the shadows.
I mean, what's she gonna say? Oh yeah, I found him in this weird alien spaceship that crashed into the floor. No way. So she does the only thing she can. She makes up a story. A believable one. He's just another orphan from the underlevels. It's a sad story, but a common one down there. No one would even think to ask more questions. It's a simple little lie to hide this absolutely massive truth.
And this really shows you the struggle of his childhood. First, the pod, the only real evidence of where he came from, it gets buried, lost forever in all the industrial waste. Then, by the time he's 4, his strength is already showing up by accident, crushing his toys. By 7, he's having to learn how to pretend to be weak, to act normal. Can you imagine that? Having all this power and having to fake being fragile? And the whole time, that power is just getting stronger and stronger. This secret evolution happening right there in the shadows.
Which brings us to the big question. And honestly, maybe the coolest part of this whole legend. Where is all this incredible power coming from? Because it's not the Force. It's something totally different. Something more elemental. Something tied directly to the stars in the sky.
The answer is 2. The number 2. That's the key. See, Coruscant has 2 suns. It's a binary star system. And even though one is way brighter, the planet is still getting bathed in the energy from both. And it's funny, the whole galaxy is so obsessed with the Force, this mystical energy field, that they never even thought about the raw power that was just pouring down from their own suns.
And here's why that's so important. His biology is described as Kryptonian. What that means is his cells are basically tiny, tiny little solar batteries. They don't just soak up sunlight for warmth like ours do. No, they metabolize it. They take that raw energy from the stars and convert it directly into superhuman powers.
So think about this. Even way down in the dark Undercity, where it's always twilight, it's still enough. That filtered light, that diffused energy from 2 suns is constantly trickling down, just soaking into his cells. He doesn't need to be sunbathing to get strong. He's been like marinating in this low-level stellar energy his whole life, and it's been fueling this slow but totally unstoppable change.
And that's really the question this whole legend leaves us with, isn't it? You've got this galaxy that's completely defined by the Force, the light side, the dark side, all of it. So what happens when you drop something new into the mix? A being who isn't powered by any of that, but by the raw energy of the stars themselves. A true force of nature, raised in secret. The story, well, it ends right there, and just leaves you to wonder what comes next.